Welcome everyone to this year's Junior Council Presidential Debate. The following four people are your candidates for the President and Vice President positions on the 2016-2017 Junior Council. Bianca Antonio, Savion Garcia, Sangwon Lee, and Mandy Kwa. Bianca Antonio was not able to join us today, but her responses will be in the video. Today's discussion will begin with four planned questions inspired by the responses from the survey posted online to the student body. Each candidate will answer every question, but the order in which people answer them will vary. After this first planned section of the debate, we will open the floor to questions from the audience, which will go on to the end of lunch. With that, let's begin with the planned questions. Candidates, when a question is asked, you will have 30 seconds to think about your answer before the first candidate must begin his or her answer. You will have a maximum of 1 minute to give your answer. At 45 seconds, we will hit the table once so that you can have a chance to wrap up approximately. However, do not feel compelled to occupy the entire allocated time, as the best answers are not always necessarily the longest ones. Keep it short and sweet. Are we ready? Let's begin. The first question will be answered by Mandy Kwa, Savion Garcia, then Sangwon Lee in that order. So the first question. What's something you can offer as an individual that's different to others? What's unique about you as a leader?
Okay, I think as a leader, I'm someone who is open-minded and willing to take everyone's ideas. I think that I'm also a team player, so whatever is best for the grade to make majority of the people happy. I also think I'm passionate about what I do, and this is something that I enjoy doing. Therefore, this won't really seem like a chore for me, rather something that I would enjoy doing for everyone to be happy.
I think the most unique thing about me being a leader is that whenever I get under pressure, I won't falter, and I'll always stay calm and collected. Just like in my academics and in my extracurricular activities, I don't if there's pressure that falls upon me, I will take it into account, and I will make sure that I do the best job that I can even if I'm being pressured with the situation that I have.
I think what's unique about me for being a leader is that I'm very open, so anyone can really come and talk to me with their concerns or their ideas. Any person can come and just talk if they have a concern. And I also think out of all candidates, I think I have most experience, especially in the school, not being a leader but being a student of ISM and knowing the inside outs of the school. Especially because I was here since preschool, and so I think that is what makes me a very unique leader.
On to the next question. These questions will be answered by Savion, Sangwon, and Mandy in that order. What concerns do you see with previous Bob efforts, and how do you plan to address them?
In terms of our grade, class of 2018, probably our biggest concern is the lack of spirit that goes on between the students. And I think that's partly because sometimes the council needs to step up more, and we need to be able to, as a council, collectively make everyone as hyped as possible. So I think to address this for next year, first off, for example, during the chants, we should have a giant drum so that we can make loud sounds and make a good beat. And during each event, we should separate them into small groups that we be sent to all different events, and as like a mini cheer squad, so that they'll be able to we'll be able to rack up the spirit points and make sure that we embody the true Bearcat spirit within the class of 2018.
Well, I think that our batch really focuses on a different thing when it comes to Bob. They really focus on getting gold at events instead of the spirit itself, and I think that should be one thing we should change. And it's our batch, though everyone is friendly towards each other, we don't really know each other well enough to get friendly enough to chant together for one cause. And so to address this issue, if I become elected into the presidential pool, I want to make our batch one one family. Everyone knows each other well. This is a good. I believe this is a good plan, especially because if you can see, the juniors are all one family. Everyone knows each other very well, and so that's why those are my visions for next year.
For me, I don't think it's just spirit for Bob. I think it's more like as a grade through the whole year or throughout our whole high school. So I think it's important, like, to emphasize that we want to be unified as a grade and to be able to encourage others to be the best that we can be, and so that our class of 2018 will be able to be the best that they can be. And I also believe that through different like announcements or maybe even a grade Snapchat, we can be able to let everyone know about different things that are going on and to be more aware. So ultimately, the goal is to make as many people as involved as possible in order for their high school experience to be fun and enjoyable.
I believe that a concern that I have for the previous Bob efforts was that it was promoted more as a competitive based thing rather than a spirit thing. And I know that people can get carried away and be competitive sometimes, but I also believe that it's very important to promote the spirit aspect of it, because I believe that it'll be more enjoyable for the grade when they're focusing on cheering and having fun and just supporting their classmates rather than stressing about winning or stressing about how they're down and losing. And I think it's evident also that spirit's very important because it's evident in the seniors and the juniors this year, because they had so many drums and so many signs, and it seemed like they were really, really into it more when they were cheering on their fellow classmates. And I feel like how to address it would be to just promote the spirit aspect of it, because I feel like that's also really important and it'll make it more enjoyable.
You can go now. All right. On to the third question. It will be answered by Sangwon, Mandy, and Savion in that order. What is your vision for next year?
Well, I already think I kind of briefly answered it in my previous answer. My vision for next year is one batch and one family. Everyone is united. Everyone has the same goal in mind. Everyone is encouraging each other to be a better person. Instead of having different groups, we're all one batch.
Okay, so my vision for next year would probably be for everybody to be involved in different things that they're interested in and passionate about, so that they'll have an ultimate fun high school experience, because that is ultimately our goal, to help everyone have a fun high school experience, especially since we're going into IB, which is a very stressful time. So I think that it's very important for everyone to have fun and do what they love doing, and to be able to motivate and encourage each other to be the best that they can be.
I think my primary concern and my vision for next year is to make sure that people are as least stressed as possible. Because, as Mandy said a while ago, IB is looming next year, and we're gonna have a very tough time trying to balance both academics and extracurriculars and even things at home. So I think like my vision is next year to make sure that the council gives as many ideas as possible that are both adequate and that will help each and every person, depending on their different strengths and weaknesses, as to how they can manage the stress for next year, as this is a crucial like point in their high school life. And I think that being able to manage their time and being organized for next year will really help them grow and mature as a student, and also help them in future with their work ethic for college.
I believe that because we're juniors and that we're starting the IB program, that it's really key to focus on our stress levels, because I know that some people might get carried away and think that IB is really, really intimidating, which it could be, but I think that it's very important to manage our stress levels and our well-being, and to make sure that our time management is handled well. And I also think that it's key for next year to unite our grade as much as possible, because it is the last 2 years that we're going to be spending together. And although it's not the last year, it is the start of the final stretch before graduation. So I think that it's really key that we're all united and that everyone's comfortable with everyone else in the last year or in the last few years.
Our fourth question will be answered by Mandy, Sangwon, and Savvy in that order. If there is one piece of advice you could give to another student, what would it be?
Okay, I think a piece of advice I would give to a student is just to be persistent as well as determined with what you do, because talent in something is just an added bonus. With persistence and determination, you'll be able to fulfill your goal, and as well as be passionate about what you're doing, because if you're passionate, then doing what you do will be what you love doing rather than be a chore, and you'll overall be happier as well as feel more accomplished because you will get things done.
My advice is just to have fun. But that comes to a limit at times. However, high school should be a place where everyone has fun, experiences new things, and learns about different cultures or different things they want to do in the future. So I think just my advice to the student is to just have fun, relax, don't really stress about things too much. There are times when you do need to stress about things, such as exams, but you shouldn't really kill yourself over it. You should really motivate yourself by trying to think of it instead of as a chore, as something for bettering yourself in the future.
Sorry. I think a piece of advice is kind of a mix of two quotes. This is if you get knocked down, you get back up, and we're all in this together. So like if you always go through struggles in high school. No matter who you are, you always have your pains and your something that will always bring you down, your crosses. And whenever you get knocked back down, you just have to keep on going. You never give up. You just keep on reaching for the goal that you've set for yourself from the start of from the start of high school, from the start of that year, whatever. As long as you aim to achieve that goal. And also, when I say we're all in this together, we are literally united, and we have to encourage each other to stay strong and united through these for the whole 4 years. That's not in order to make sure that everyone does their best in their academics and all the things that they do throughout high school.
I think my piece of advice would be just to put yourself out there, because ISM is a great school with many great people, and there's always something that can cater to anyone's interests. And there are so many opportunities where you can have so many unexpected memories, or even spread your connections and make new friends. And I think that putting yourself out there and having the courage to just go for anything can really turn the outcome into something great. However, another piece of advice that I would give is to manage your time well and to make sure that you're not doing more than you can, because things are enjoyable only until they become too much. So I think time management is also key.
That brings us to the end of our planned questions. Members of the audience may now ask any questions they may have. Once a question is asked, I will pick on candidates who raise their hands ready with an answer. But due to time constraints, only 2 candidates will be able to answer each question. Yeah.
Let us say like someone in your council is cutting slack. Like let's say someone in the cabinet pool. So what will you do to deal with it so that they actually fulfill their responsibilities?
So if someone's slacking off, what will you do to help encourage them?
Well, first thing I do is remind them it's not about them, it's about helping our grade. And so if that's not enough motivation, he shouldn't really be in the cabinet pool. And so I think I kind of give it like I kind of give them kind of like a bitter speech on how to motivate them, like because it's kind of selfish. You're in a council for your batch, yet you're slacking. And so I would be straight with them. I'd give them like a bitter speech to try to wake them up from their imaginary dream.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, if there was an unmotivated member of the council, I would try to individually speak to them, and there obviously might be an issue as to why they're not motivated. So I would probably individually seek them out and talk to them and talk about the different issues, about why they're slacking off, and then with them, I think I'll try to come up with solutions to try to overcome this, to get them to start working and to help with things in the grade. And I'll also try to make it fun for them so that it doesn't seem like it's something hard to do.
Abhinav.
If you could bring someone back from the dead, who would it be and why?
So if you could bring someone back from the dead, who would it be and why? First two candidates to raise their hand. And one.
Well, I know this person has already, has already been brought to heaven. But if I had a chance, I think I'd resurrect Jesus Christ. Because I know it may sound kind of silly, but I'm really curious to whether a real God exists out there and something bigger exists out there. And I want to find out through scientific facts, not just through a book. And so I'd resurrect Jesus Christ.
If I were to bring someone back from the dead, I think it'd be my grandma, because she was there for me for the first 4 years of my life, and she's the one first taught me how to the alphabet and basic stuff about learning, and she's in a way kind of brought me where I am today. But if I were to bring her back, I won't bring her back for a long amount of time, because you always have to let go of the pains that you've had in the past, and you have to that you have to move on, and you have to keep looking forward.
Question. Okay. Well, thank you to everyone who attended this year's presidential debate. A special thank you to our candidates for answering questions which weren't necessarily the easiest. Thanks, guys.
Yay!